It's 3 a.m. and I'm lying here in the dark, wide awake. The world is silent, but my mind, my heart, is anything but quiet. This is when you come to me most powerfully. Not in the busy daylight hours when I can distract myself with work and noise and all the things I use to avoid feeling too deeply. But here, in these vulnerable hours before dawn, when there's nowhere to hide from the truth. The truth is, at 3 a.m., I think about you constantly. And I pulled 3 cards to understand what's really happening in these sleepless hours. What am I processing? What am I holding? What keeps me awake when the rest of the world dreams? The 9 of Wands, the 3 of Wands, Judgment in reverse. And these cards revealed everything about what fills my mind in the darkness. Let me show you what I'm really thinking about when I can't sleep. The 9 of Wands appeared first, and I felt it in my bones. At 3 a.m., I think about how tired I am. Not physically tired, though God knows this battle has worn me down. I'm talking about the exhaustion that comes from standing guard over my own heart for so long. From being battle-weary and defensive, always ready for the next wound, always braced for the next betrayal. I think about all the walls I've built, every brick placed carefully after every hurt, every defense mechanism learned from everyone who taught me that vulnerability equals pain, every scar that hardened into armor until I became a fortress, impenetrable, yes, but also isolated, alone. At 3 a.m., when I can't hide from myself, I think about how exhausting it is to be this guarded, to never fully relax, to never completely trust, to always keep one hand on my weapon, ready to defend against attacks that might never come. You see this figure in the 9 of Wands, wounded but standing, defensive but determined, tired but unwilling to surrender. That's me at 3 a.m., beautiful soul. That's what I'm wrestling with in the darkness. I think about how many times I've been knocked down and gotten back up. How many times I've been hurt and kept going. How many battles I've fought. Some with others, most with myself, until I became this perpetually guarded version of me who doesn't know how to lay down his weapons. But here's what I'm really thinking about in these quiet hours. How much I want to stop fighting. How desperately I crave the peace of finally feeling safe enough to lower my defenses. How you're the only person who's ever made me want to be vulnerable instead of victorious. I'm tired of being strong all the time, my love. In the stillness of night, I admit things I can't admit during the day. I think about how much I want to rest my head on your chest and just exhale. How I want to tell you about all the wounds I'm still carrying. How I want to show you the scars I've hidden behind confidence and bravado and the carefully constructed image of a man who has it all together. I think about your hands on those wounds, not healing them because that's not your job, but witnessing them, seeing them, letting me finally acknowledge that yes, I've been hurt, and yes, I'm tired, and yes, I need someone to help me stand guard for a while because I can't do it alone anymore. In these vulnerable hours, I think about surrender. What would it feel like to trust you completely? To believe that I don't have to be defensive with you? To know that when I'm too tired to keep standing, you'll be there to catch me? This 9 of Wands energy, this battle-weary, exhausted soldier energy, it's been my reality for so long. But when I think about you in the darkness, I dare to imagine something different. A reality where I can finally put down the staff I've been clutching. Where I can stop scanning for threats and just be. You make me want to be soft instead of strong. Open instead of armored. At rest instead of at war. And when the world is sleeping and I'm alone with my thoughts, I think about how revolutionary that is, how you've awakened this longing in me to finally stop fighting and start living. Then came the Three of Wands, and suddenly my midnight thoughts shifted from the past to the future, from what I've been carrying to what I'm creating, from exhaustion to anticipation. In these sleepless hours, I think about our future. I stand at the edge of possibility, looking out across the horizon of what we could become together, and beautiful soul, the view takes my breath away. I think about the life we're going to build. Not in vague, wishful terms, but in specific, vivid detail. I've planned it all in these wakeful hours. I've envisioned every moment. I've mapped out our journey together like an explorer charting new territory. I think about the home we'll create. Not just a physical space, though yes, I imagine that too. The way we'll choose furniture together, arguing playfully about colors and styles. The kitchen where we'll cook side by side, your hip bumping mine, stealing kisses between stirring and tasting. The bedroom that becomes our sanctuary, where the outside world can't touch us. But more than that, I think about the emotional home we're building, the relationship that becomes our safe harbor. The connection that's so solid, so secure, so unshakable that we can weather any storm because we have each other. In the quiet of night, I plan our adventures. I see us traveling, your hand in mine as we explore new cities, new countries, new experiences. I imagine your excitement about beautiful things, your wonder at new places. I think about lazy mornings in hotel rooms, your body wrapped around mine, neither of us wanting to leave bed because being together is the real destination. I think about the small moments that will become our story. Sunday morning coffee in bed, dancing in the kitchen to songs only we understand, inside jokes that make us laugh years later. The way we'll look at each other across crowded rooms and communicate everything without words. But then came judgment reversed, and suddenly my late-night thoughts became more complicated, more real, more raw. In these vulnerable moments, I think about how I'm not ready, not in the way you might think. Not because I don't want you, God knows I want you with every fiber of my being, but because becoming the man who deserves you requires a reckoning I'm still avoiding. This reversed judgment card, it's the call I'm not quite answering yet, the awakening I'm resisting, the transformation I know I need but am terrified to fully embrace. I think about all the parts of me that still need work, the patterns I haven't fully broken, the wounds I haven't completely healed, the shadows I've acknowledged but not yet integrated. In the brutal honesty of darkness, I can't hide from the fact that I'm still becoming. I think about how I judge myself so harshly for not being further along, how I want to be fully healed, fully awakened, fully ready, and how frustrated I get with myself for still being in process, how I sometimes feel like I'm failing you by not being the finished product yet. But here's what else I think about. Maybe the reckoning isn't about being perfect before I'm worthy of you. Maybe it's about having the courage to show up imperfectly while still doing the work. Maybe judgment reversed isn't about failing the test. It's about realizing there is no test. Just a journey. Just growth. Just two souls choosing to evolve together. In these quiet hours, I think about self-forgiveness. How hard it is to forgive myself for all the ways I've fallen short. For the running. For the fear. For the moments I chose self-protection over truth. For every time I hurt you because I hadn't yet healed myself. I think about how you've forgiven me for things I haven't forgiven myself for. How your grace exceeds my own. How you see the man I'm becoming while I'm still stuck seeing the man I was. This reversed judgment is me avoiding the mirror. Not completely. I'm doing the work. I'm facing my shadows. I'm healing. But there's a final reckoning, a complete awakening, a total transformation that I'm still dancing around. Maybe because I'm scared of what I'll find when I look that deeply. Maybe because I'm afraid that even after all this work, I still won't be enough. In the stillness, I wrestle with worthiness. Do I deserve this love? Do I deserve you? Have I done enough healing to be the partner you need? These questions chase themselves in circles through my mind, keeping me awake, making me question everything. But then I think about how you'd answer those questions, how you'd tell me that love isn't earned, it's given. How you'd remind me that I don't have to be perfect to be worthy. How you'd say that the fact that I'm doing the work, that I'm trying, that I'm committed to growth, that's what matters. So in these wakeful hours, I make myself a promise to keep doing the work even when it's uncomfortable, to keep facing the reckoning even when I want to avoid it, to keep moving toward my own awakening even when it terrifies me, to keep believing that I'm worthy of this love even when my inner judge says otherwise, because you're worth the discomfort, we're worth the transformation, and the man I'm becoming, he's worth fighting for. These midnight thoughts, they're not keeping me awake because they're painful. They're keeping me awake because they're so full of possibility, so rich with potential, so pregnant with meaning, that sleep feels like a waste of time when I could be savoring these visions of us. When the world is sleeping and I'm alone with my truth, I'm falling more in love with you. I'm building our future. I'm becoming the man who can meet you in the middle. And when dawn finally comes, I'll carry these thoughts into the day. The exhaustion will still be there, but so will the hope. The planning will continue, but so will the action. The awakening will still be incomplete, but I'll keep showing up anyway. Because in these vulnerable hours, I discovered something crucial. I don't have to have it all figured out to be worthy of your love. I don't have to be fully healed to start building our future. I don't have to be perfect to be chosen. I just have to be real, present, committed, growing. And in the darkness, beautiful soul, I am all of those things. Tired but determined, dreaming but planning, imperfect but evolving, and thinking about you. Always thinking about you. In the darkness, in the silence, in the vulnerable hours when truth can't hide, you're there. In my thoughts, in my heart, in my vision of who I'm becoming and what we're building. So the next time you can't sleep, know that I'm probably awake too. And I'm thinking about you, about us, about the life we're going to create when we finally stop letting fear win and start letting love lead. At 3 a.m., I'm yours. Completely. Imperfectly. Eternally. Your divine masculine awake and thinking of you. P.S. If you wake in the middle of the night and feel a pull in your heart, a warmth in your chest, a knowing you can't explain, that's me, reaching across the distance, holding you in my thoughts. You're never alone in those quiet hours. I'm right there with you, planning our forever, one sleepless night at a time.